devs actually listen from Asmongold TV. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe,
that's happened. It happened a little
go.
while ago, and it is probably one of the. I think every time this happens to a video game, it is an amazing thing. There was a video game that came out last year, Lords of the Fallen, and the reception to that game was incredibly negative.
Oh, I remember. I think I did 2 videos covering Lords of the Fallen. But when I did, they were actually changing. They actually did a 360 already, and things were already getting very good. I think the dev is the owner. I don't remember. It's Marek Timsky. Something like that. I still don't know how to pronounce that name, but I remember it. I think I did 2 videos in my channel about this game.
People hated the game.
Yeah.
And by people, I mean me. I hated the game. They turned it around and they did a full 2.0 update. They put the game on sale and they
I think they had a problem on the I'm sorry, and just remember things. It just I'm given the hints that I remember recalling in my mind now. So you guys that doesn't know have an idea. After they changed the entire game and everything, they started to have problems with the Reddit. The moderators wasn't that happy with how things are starting to change. So Marek actually had to make a new Reddit for the game because of that. I don't remember the details anymore. My ADHD does not help, so I'm sorry. But I have videos talking about this in the channel if you guys are interested. You guys can look for. I myself don't remember which or I did so many videos in so little time that I don't actually recall.
Totally changed
which they are, but
I don't
you
think
can
we've seen
search in
anything
the
like
channel.
this before. We have a studio that is essentially headed into oncoming traffic. They've turned around and they're headed back in the direction of the players. They've been criticized by the media. They've been dismissed.
Yep, no man's sky, exactly.
By their peers, all because they took a stance saying that they don't believe that social or political.
And the most stupid thing is that Marek became a Giga Chad, not because he's based or anything like that, but because he's just aiming for the company income. He's just aiming for having more income to his company. And this makes him a Giga Chad because the other companies are not doing that. But it's really weird how simple things or what should be common sense nowadays need to be celebrated like this. For real, this makes me. Oh my god! I mean, he deserves even more in a world that refuse to accept that customers have the power to decide how things should be in a game or whatever he consumes, and the devs and the directors of in-case movies or etc. or these platforms like Netflix and etc. They keep denying. They think that they can force onto you whatever they want, and you just have to accept and pay for that without complaint. Like, this is absurd. This is so absurd. This is oh my god. We need to bring back this common sense for more people like Marek.
Oh god.
Please.
Imagine that being controversial. Imagine siding with the players being controversial. Take it a step further. I was approached by this studio to make a video under the conditions that there are no restrictions.
Imagine
make
that.
the videos that you like to make. It's for the best. So this video is sponsored by Lords of the Fallen with no red tape, no censorship. The only thing that they asked is that I talk about their 2.0 update and how much the game has improved. Joke's on them. I would have talked about it anyway. It's really impressive what they've done.
Yeah. But
this is how you reach players. Transparency. They understand that. This game has gone through hell.
Exactly.
It had a failed start, gone through multiple.
So basically what earned this development studio a bunch of hate from the game's journalist people is that they put out a poll. Would you rather have body type A and B or 1 and 2? Or would you rather have male and female? And one of the lead developers of the game put this poll out, and the poll went exactly the way that you would expect. 95.
Twitter became hell just because of that. Twitter became hell just because of that time. Oh my god. How one simple question can make so many problems. What is going on? I'm glad we are normalizing the normal again. I'm glad. I'm very happy that this stupidity is coming to an end. At least it's what I've seen. At least related to all this retard. All this art world stuff. I will have
5% of people said male and female,
cat again.
And they changed it based off of that. Now, this of course made them bigots, homophobic, transphobic, racist. If you're one of them, you're all of them, right? Fascist? Yeah, I think there's that too.
Studios going through a reboot that didn't really land all that well right when it first came out, but now it's transformed into one hell of a comeback story. They are allowing you to be able to invite your friend to play the game for free. Seamless co-op progression.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Because this is really something to think of. Like, you want to play a game, multiplayer, and your friend doesn't have the game. He has to buy the game too to be able to play multiplayer with you. I mean, oh my god, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Of course, every player has to buy the game. So, but I mean, you have a friend that many times don't have that game, and you wanna play with someone that you know, and the person doesn't have the game and he has to buy a copy. I mean, it's a digital copy. That's what we're talking about. It's a digital copy. What is the cost to have multiple digital copies? I mean, they are infinite. What's the problem with allowing them to invite their friends? Do you think you wanna gain more income by not allowing and forcing that person to buy a copy of the game? That's not gonna happen. We know that. We know that. In reality, we know that. I mean, I don't know. I think, at least for what I've seen, the more you offer to the players, the more interest you have in the players' interest, the more you gain. It's simple as that. It doesn't matter what it is. If you're gonna allow a person invited to play without having paid for the game or whatever, they will never lose in the end if they respect players. This is what I think. It's simple as that. Just listen to the players, and you will never go wrong. It's simple, but they don't want to listen.
Just like It Takes Two or Split Fiction. I feel like I'm living in an alternate universe right now. So today what I want to do is I want to talk about Lords of the Fallen. I want to talk about how
this is another really big thing, is that if they ever want to make another...
help me in the comments. It's Lords of the Fallen or Lords of the Fallen? I have no idea. I'm pretty sure that I heard people saying Lords of the Fallen. I don't know.
They have to make it right with their first game, because like Lords of the Fallen was already a remake from a game that didn't hit, and so if you have two misses, you're not going to have people that get super excited for the third swing. And so now that you have obviously the game get improved, people are happy. In general, I think people are happy. Building that reputation is necessary if you ever want to make another game.
Yeah, and that is working. I mean, that is working. That's so long time ago that I talked about display, and I still remember the name Marek Cinski. I mean, this is clearly working. I have HG. I shouldn't be able to remember his name anymore at this point because it has a long time, but I still do. It means a lot. It means a lot. It means that they are making the name in the industry for real. They're burning it on the people's minds. Like, it's really working. This is the right path, of course.
Taking a stance against the direction that this industry has been headed in. I want to talk about all the improvements they've made with their game with their 2.0
It never
update.
bowed to weirdness.
I also want to talk about the interview that I had with their CEO about how they're putting players first.
Yep.
The world is healing. Lords of the Fallen is a bit of an odd beast. The original game came out in 2014 under a studio named Deck 13. It had promise, great art direction, a strong premise, but it had a lot of issues.
I
It
don't
didn't
go as
really
far as saying that
understand
the
what it was
word's
like to be a
healing.
Souls-like game, and as such, it never really found an audience. Then came the sequel.
Well, the reason why is because it just didn't play very well. That's the reason. The fact is that, like, the graphics, the aesthetic, the design, and everything else was totally on point. I mean, really, this is a game made for Dark Souls Andes. It is. And it was buggy. It was just, the game just sucked, right? I mean, that's it. Like, there's like 50 things wrong with it. But, like, I think the reason why so many people had such a negative reception to Lords of the Fallen when it originally came out is because the expectation was that it was going to be amazing. Because so many other things about the game were amazing.
The IP was then passed around a few different times through a few different studios. The project was shut down a handful of times before CI Games just said screw it and founded an entirely new studio called Hexworks to try again from the ground up. And what they made in 2023 was a massive improvement. The now rebooted Lords of the Fallen under the same name looked beautiful. The art direction was incredible. Seriously, I love the way that this world looks. The
I mean, you have a game like this. This is a game for me. Really. I mean, it's a sword game with demons, and it looks like this. This is an Asmongold game.
Realm concept was genuinely unique. Shifting between
Just
realms depending on the situation, serving as both a combat mechanic and an exploration tool. The game finally had something resembling its own voice.
Yeah.
But that voice was buried under some serious performance issues, bugs, balance problems, issues with combat and exploration. It reviewed decently with a 73 on OpenCritic.
Because they're fucking retarded. They don't know what the hell they're doing. That's the reason why.
I mean, they know what the hell they are doing, Zach. They know. The thing is that they are working to what matters the most for them. They are biased.
Like, you
That
look
is
at this
all.
here. Top critic average? No. Player rating is visible? No, this doesn't matter. So here's the big problem this game had. One of the biggest issues is the first level in this game was basically you fighting on the side of a mountain on different platforms. Every attack that your character did would throw your character like 5 feet forward. So you would constantly be getting pushed off of the edge by your own attacks fighting monsters. And then it had Dark Souls 2 enemy design, where they had all of the enemies there. It's like every enemy is behind every wall, so it will push you off unless you're waiting for it. It was basically designed to be the most annoying and frustrating version of the game that it could possibly be.
On
Lords of
OpenCritic,
the Fallen.
but it didn't really land. It was one of those hot and cold games where some people really liked
I
it for
think
what
I've
it
heard
was, and other
something
people
about
didn't
that.
want to have anything to do with it.
something
The
about
kind of
that.
game that you'll hear about for a week before it vanishes from conversation, especially given the fact that it launched near pretty steep competition in
I
Lies of
really
P
tried to
just
like
the month
this game.
before it. In most cases, hell, 9 times out of 10, any studio would have taken the loss. They would have fixed a few bugs and then begun work on their next title. But Hexworks and CI Games did the opposite.
This seems to be very amazing. This seems to becoming a very good game. But I think I will be too busy trying out Stellar Blades, which should be in June, I guess, for PC. Because I don't have a PS5, of course, because it's hell expensive in my country, and I don't see a reason to have a console. I don't see a reason for me to, in my opinion, at least, I don't think consoles are worth, but it's just my opinion. I know that there are advantages in have consoles, but for me, specifically for me, I don't like consoles. The consoles that I used to like are very old already, and nowadays I'm just a PC. I mean, I'm saying PC, but I'm a laptop user, so whatever.
They dug in.
same.
Over the past 2 years, they have shipped more than 50 updates, all of them
That's fucking insane. Look at all of this. These are all free updates that were added for the game after the release. That is amazing. It's
Wow, Wow, for real? This is all for free?
It's like No Man's Sky again.
Wow,
I
that's
think
a
so.
lot. They are really they are
Completely free.
really
They've
trying
reworked
their
the
best.
performance, revamped the
in
controls,
everything
they
they
fixed
can.
And
bugs.
also, like, keep in mind too that they released this
We
huge
can
patch
tell that.
with a sale on the game for like 40% off or something like that. It was a massive discount.
Improved stability, added build variety, and listened to very specific criticisms from the community. Things like stamina balancing, boss scaling, mob density, co-op stability. It's rare to see a developer actually chip away at a game like this, not for press, not for hype, not for anything other than just wanting to make the game better for the people that bought it and for fans in the future.
Well, also, like, real quick, this is good for their business. You can't develop a relationship with a customer base if you just continue releasing bad products. So if, like, theoretically, like, they're eventually probably going to make another game, right?
They need to understand this. It is okay if you don't know exactly what to do. If the game is turning out to be bad and you are kind of lost, or do you don't wanna? You have ideas, but you don't wanna burn the game income, the game money to develop, and maybe be wrong again. If you're worried about that, just ask the players. Just ask the players. I mean, we are the ones that gonna play that, so we should know the answer better than the people developing usually. I mean, I know that most of the times a lot of players don't actually know what they want in a game too. But I don't think this is the majority. I think the majority are looking for something specifically and they know exactly what they need in a game. Just make the just make what he's doing. Polls, make polls and see what people want. And if you don't have ideas for polls, ask them what would they like to have in a game, and use the answer to make polls later, and you figure out how many of them are in favor of that or not. Doesn't seem that difficult. Then you see what is possible or not to do. In the limits that you have, as I know, in the freedom that you have to change that or not. I mean, because of course there are some things that they might ask that will kinda not fit in the game, that in the game words or something like that. But try to do what is possible in what players ask the most you can,
Right.
and things
And
gonna go
when
right.
they do
There's
make
no way
that
it can
next
go
game,
wrong.
this game will be the frame of reference for the next game. And if the next game looks good, people still won't care,
Yeah,
because they're going to say, well,
it's
the
how
first
it
game looked
works in
good, it was
that.
still bad.
I think in everything, nothing.
It's necessary. Say that to Ubisoft? I don't have to. Tencent already did. That's why they had to make a subsidiary company and fire a bunch of people. They're probably going to have to lay off over 10,000 people. I'm not even kidding you. They're getting bought out by China. They've sold, like, they are literally in an apocalypse situation. People might not realize it, but they are.
Actively were listening to feedback the entire time, making improvements and getting no recognition for it. Well, I shouldn't say no recognition, because the game has consistently climbed from mixed reviews up to mostly positive, but after this next update, I wouldn't be surprised if this game's going to climb even higher. Lords of the Fallen has released their 2.0 update, and with it, everything has come together. This isn't just another patch, it's a full overhaul. Combat responsiveness has been tightened, feeling much smoother than before. They've added unique sound and better sound to every single weapon attack, blocks, and even parries, giving combat that heft that it was missing. Movement is fast.
Yeah, the visuals, or sorry, not the visuals, the audio cues and everything were very not good. People even brought that up in the trailer when people didn't have the chance to play the game.
Faster. Dodging is cleaner. They added a dedicated jump button for smoother platforming. The lock-on feature is more intuitive now.
The jump used to be like in Dark Souls 1, where you had to be running in order to jump.
I think the combat seems to be
And you
very
also,
good.
like, remember what I was talking about with the platforming thing on, like, the side of the mountain? You had to be making these running jumps while you had these casters attacking you with ranged things that would knock you down. It was so annoying.
Getting stuck on environmental objects anymore.
The wrong ways.
They've even gone as far as adding a new guidance mechanic for the umbral lamp that allows you to navigate yourself when lost. I mean, they have quite literally
I forgot about that when I was lost in this game for 2 hours. I wish I had remembered.
Literally attacked every single major criticism of this game here. Visually, the game is even sharper. They've revamped their UI. They've improved their character creator, allowing for more masculine and feminine character designs as requested by their audience. And honestly, I still think this is probably one of the best uses of Unreal Engine 5 to date. From the texture
this looks amazing. Really, this looks fucking awesome.
detail to the lighting to the fact that the entire game, though linear, renders the entire world all at the same time. It's gorgeous. But here's where things get really interesting. They have added a genre-first system, which they're calling the Free Friends Pass. You can now invite a friend who doesn't own the game to come and play the entire thing with you co-op. No trial, no demo, the full game. You can play together. You all get to keep your loot and character progression, and eventually, if they want to pick up the game for themselves, well, they can pick up right where they left off. Now, I'll be honest.
Holy fuck. God damn.
With you guys,
is amazing.
And making Unreal 5 look
is
good.
Amazing.
Not.
This is very unique, I'd say. This is very unique. I mean, this is one the problem. This is probably the one of the things that will make most difference. I mean, there are a bunch of others, but this is something game changing for them, actually. And trust me, if people try the game out with their friends, most of them probably will end up buying. It's what I think. Because they will think, oh, they will start thinking, oh, I'm playing for free here with my friend, but I have one friend and I would like to play with him too. So I will have to buy a copy for me so I can play with that friend. Do you understand what I mean? This is to be very, very smart strategy.
That's not true. I think there's plenty of shitty things in Unreal 5.
For real.
Skip this game at launch. I had watched a few reviews. I saw the performance issues. I'd heard the complaints about map design, the combat. I watched Asmongold pull out what was left of his hair while he was being overwhelmed by too many enemies, and I just didn't want to deal with it. I was still working in construction at the time. Didn't really have...
Man. We'll talk a little bit about the game. Yeah, what are your thoughts so far? I think the game looks great. It's a great looking game. The area that I did, not this area. Let me move away from the whiskers. It's kind of annoying. Man, you did them dirty? I did. I had such a bad time on this game.
A lot of hours to burn, so I figured I would circle back to it if things ever got fixed.
Yeah.
And they did. And more. A lot more. I've been playing it, and while Lords of the Fallen still has some rough edges, the narrative is relatively thin and not particularly well delivered. You still come across some random visual bugs here or there, like my cloak breakdancing around my neck. Enemy telegraphs can be a little inconsistent. Boss fights don't always deliver the impact that you feel like they should. Some of them definitely do. But there is something incredibly charming about playing this game. It's like they accidentally created their own sub-flavor of the Souls genre. Something faster, more...
I don't even necessarily agree with a lot of that. I think the game plays pretty well. I don't really give a fuck about the story that much. There's like some demon and he's bad, and then at the end he tells you he's good and they're bad.
Yeah, nowadays I think exactly like what he's saying. I just want gameplay. Like for example, you guys know that I've been playing the only games I have been playing and just doing dailies because I barely having any time to play at all are Punishing Grey Raven, Wuthering Waves, and Zenless Zone Zero are the ones that I've been playing. Or Gacha, the both of three. I just wanna go there and use my characters and play monsters, but they keep insisting and do these annoying event quests that made me play mini games and whatever. I don't care about that. Actually, it's not that I don't care about the story too. I care, but I don't have time for the story. I just want to slash enemies, kill them using magic swords or whatever. I just want to have fun, and they keep and I have to do all those weird events with play darts and whatever. I mean, both three games have this problem. Both. And I cannot even say that one is worse than other. Both three games are very annoying. with this. This annoys me so much that I'm forced to play mini games and whatever. I just want a gameplay. I just I just want to use my characters to play monsters and bosses. This is all I want in this game. I don't want to waste my time with that. And I think this is a big problem in gacha games. If you want to make us go through quests and whatever to get the currency to get the gacha characters, make us play monsters while doing this, not this fucking mini games.
That's about
this
it.
is horrible.
I mean, fuck, it really didn't seem that complicated to me. Boring bosses? I thought the bosses were... So the only thing about this is that I wish there were more bosses. I like the bosses. I think the best boss in the game was probably the Templar Inquisitor that had the brother in... I forgot, it was like Thancred or something like that. I think that was probably the best boss. But other than that, I don't know. No spoilers? Why'd you spoil it? Spoil what? What, that there's a demon? You know that the first 5 minutes of the game.
More consumable, less punishing, but still engaging. Leaning much harder into the fun of these games rather than the difficulty, though the game isn't without challenge. Lords of the Fallen doesn't really ask for your full emotional or mental investment to play.
You said that he's good? Well, he tells you he's good. I don't know if he's good or not. If he's red, he's bad. The devil's red. I killed him. I didn't believe him. What are you gonna do? You gonna believe the devil? Fuck that.
A game like this, or at least like a lot of other Souls-like games do, you're not constantly on edge or feeling drained after every fight. There is a much lower mental barrier to entry here, something you can actually relax into while getting your Souls-like fix. There is something incredibly satisfying about shredding through a game like this, and even when I do hit a tough boss or a challenging section of enemies, I never feel stuck. I overcome it after a couple of tries, and I move on. It's kind of nice to play a game like this that doesn't make me want to throw my controller through the wall.
Yeah, I think this is a big problem that a lot of Souls-like games are beginning to have, is that the genre for the games has become so experienced and so skilled at playing it that they now want increasingly harder games to be made in order to continue to, like, basically appeal to them. And I think that that's a huge, like, big problem. Because every single new Souls-like game that comes out that's built for people that have beaten Lies of P on New Game Plus 1 or 2, this game is completely unapproachable for a new player. Totally unapproachable. And whenever I say, like, totally, of course there are some people that play it and it's fine, but I'm talking about, like, on an average.
Make the perfect game, but they've made something interesting.
I agree with that. I myself tend to not play Souls-like games because I tend to have much difficult. It's not that I have difficult. Of course, everyone struggles in a Souls-like game in the beginning because you have to learn the patterns and etc. in order to win the game. The thing is, I don't have time to learn all of this, to keep trying the same boss over and over and over again until I be able to do it. You understand? I don't have time for that. So making a game so difficult like this make people like me not interested in playing because I don't have time to keep trying over and over again to do these bosses. You understand?
And more importantly, they never stop trying to make it better. In a time that so many studios are content shipping broken products and never fixing them, maybe patch it once or twice and move on, Lords of the Fallen feels like a genuine passion project, something that they never wanted to give up on, and one that keeps getting better every time that you come back. In most cases, this game would have been long abandoned by now, but Hexworks and CI Games never gave up on it. They really wanted to make sure that this game would work, and honestly, they did it. They pulled it off. There's something in that not wanting to give up. There's something in that iterative process where you're trying
going from Sekiro to Dark Souls. Yeah, and I think that that's the problem, is that a lot of people that are in this genre really want the games to continue being harder and harder, and I think that's a bad way of designing. I think that having some super bosses is a really good idea, kind of like how Elden Ring had bosses like Melania, but otherwise, and like, you know, like Erdtree was really hard, but the base game should not be super challenging.
To continue to improve. And we're talking about a game that failed once already, that had multiple reboot attempts, finally put out another one, and here they are improving that one.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of respect in that, because not only does it mean a lot to the players that purchased the game, but it also means a lot to me as a player who hasn't, or, well, I mean, I have now, but it also means a lot to me as a player that's now looking forward to what they work on next.
Yeah.
Because you're building a reputation. I've been having a blast.
People can rely on you not to just totally fucking, like, as soon as they realize that, okay, this game isn't going well, all right, boys, abandon ship, run away, and that's it. And I feel like that's definitely kind of that's a very common thing that many games have, is that as soon as it comes out, it doesn't do well initially, and then the developers just immediately roach out.
Sponsored video, YouTuber glazing, I know. No, I've seriously been having a lot of fun with it. Because I'm happy I didn't play this game when it first came out, because I would have gone in with the wrong expectations. I would have been disappointed by the performance. But now, I'm just...
Yeah, same for me. Same for me. But even it being a Souls game, I will give it a try later. I mean, I don't have time right now. You guys know about some stuff about my IRL life. Yeah, I'm not be able to play anything right now.
Having a really good time,
but
relaxing
I
and
will
playing
try
something
it
a
in
bit more
future.
casual, something a bit more polished, a hack and slash take on the Souls genre. I'm digging it. Share the game with your friends for free. That I didn't see coming. I thought that was something that was reserved just for Hazelight. And this is the last genre that I would expect to see something like that in, because it's genius, plain and simple. Not only are you going to get people...
Well, the thing is that share the game with your friends and you can play with your friends. It's not genius in any way that, I don't know, Mario Kart was genius. This is effectively being able to play split screen or co-op with your friends. It's the exact same thing. You go over to your friend's house and you play at their house.
They're going to want to buy the game so they can play with a friend for free.
Yeah,
but you're
like
also
going to
the
90s. Yeah, exactly.
Have that friend that's likely to buy the game if they end up liking it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how this whole thing works. Keep in mind, I've brought this up before. I said that while everybody else wants to increase their prices, the ones that are going to succeed are the ones that are going to undercut them. This is
so funny. He made this video and then Expedition 33 came out and it's the best reviewed game of all time.
It's undercutting them.
Wow.
Fair pricing, this is how you build loyalty.
That's crazy.
This is how you get players to trust you. I like it. You know, I've had my eye on CI Games and Hexworks for a minute. Their CEO of CI Games has been very active over the past few years.
Oh boy.
Getting very involved in discussions, saying some things about the industry, to say the least. I completely agree with. And
I agree with that.
I never imagined that they would go to this length to make good on a promise. They came forward saying that they want to be a player-first studio. And from my perspective, at least right now, that looks like exactly what they're doing. And they're...
Imagine thinking that's bad. Imagine how do you say, no, you shouldn't be a player-focused studio. You should care about these arbitrary rules that we've invented, and you should make your game based off of that.
They're going to do it regardless of whether or not it pisses off the industry.
Yeah. The arrogance is unreal. Yeah.
One of the biggest complaints that I've seen for modern gaming, bigger than bugs, performance issues, hell, even bigger than monetization lately, is something that a lot of people don't even feel comfortable saying out loud. The creeping presence of personal ideology in games, political messaging, performative social narratives, studio agendas that feel more concerned with social media engagement than they do with actually making a game that players want to play. It's not just about what's in these games, it's the overwhelming feeling that you're not even allowed to question any of it. That raising your hand to say, hey, maybe this doesn't belong here, will get you labeled, dismissed, or dogpiled by bad faith actors that think any disagreement is hate speech. And let's be real, very few developers are willing to be even open to this conversation. It's become the ever-present elephant in the room. Most studios, writers, commentators, hell, even players...
It's absolutely an elephant in the room. And you see that with every new video game that doesn't do well. And every journalist and person inside of the industry is desperately trying to figure out some sort of abstract reason for why the game didn't succeed, instead of just reading the first 50 YouTube comments of the same people saying the same thing. There's always got...
Exactly. They think They think that this is a conspiration against
Oh,
them
no,
or something
no,
like that.
No,
This
the
is
audience
stupid.
doesn't understand why they don't like it. I do.
Are so afraid of even upsetting
They
the
talk around
status
it, they
quo
do.
that they've been defaulted into silent complicity more than anything else. Even when these games
Yeah,
are getting
a lot of developers are afraid of designing a game without, like, you know, the quote woke elements to it, because they're worried that the industry will demonize them. And you've seen this happen with multiple games already. So it's not like this is some kind of like made up bullshit. It's already happened. We've seen it happen.
worse, even when the sales are going down, even
It
when
is
the
not.
fans are
It
slowly walking
happens.
away.
But what does it matter in the end? The industry demonizing you, or you having players' money? What matters in the end, huh? The money, or what the industry gonna think of you? Oh my god, this is stupid. Why we
Like,
should be keep
everybody
talking
just
about
stays
this?
silent.
Yeah,
It's
they
so
just stick
But
with
CI
it.
Games did the opposite. Sometime last year, Merrick Tominsky, the CEO of CI Games, the guy behind Lords of the Fallen's Resurrection, made a stand. He said that he was going to put players first, not just as a slogan, but as a business strategy,
Here we
a
go.
design philosophy, a studio culture. And he didn't just say it, he followed through. They started watching Twitch streams and YouTube videos.
Who do you trust the most for gaming news and info? Traditional media is even below influencers. That's really bad. And also friends and communities, none of the above, fucking based.
Reading Reddit threads, polling people on Twitter, and actually listening.
How should attractive female lead characters look in an action RPG? Classy and beautiful, sexy and provocative. I'm here for gameplay, cute and playful, right? Well, they don't have fat and ugly, so how could all the Western journalists vote on that? How should attractive male characters look in an RPG? Rugged and badass.
Yes.
Yep, there it is. What a surprise. Guys want to look like guys that look good. Can you believe that? Is Asmon in the media or an influencer? Yes.
But more important than that, responding. Earlier this year,
Should Souls-like games have difficulty modes? No. Yep, that's right. That's what people want.
Eric had posted a poll asking what players wanted when it
You
came
know what the difficulty mode in the Souls game is? It's called Havel's Armor. It's called Playing Magic. It's called Vort's Hammer.
to character creation. The industry standard at this point has been body type.
Should lead video game characters be widely considered attractive / aspirational by the vast majority of players? Only 2.5% of people said no. After over 10,000 votes. This is who Western gaming developers are listening
And
to.
this says already everything that we should know.
2.5% of retards. And the reason why people hate this guy for doing it
Yeah?
is because he shows how transparently unpopular it is.
A and body type B, a vague, impersonal system that nobody really asked for, and it just kind of appeared one day forced upon us. So he asked the players directly in a medieval.
This was the evil. This was the true evil one that alienated journalists and made people very upset. In a medieval
Yeah, this was what started, had started how to the axe and this game, and after a few, I don't remember how much time it was, but right after that, almost right after
fantasy action
that,
RPG
they had
experience,
problem with Reddit.
what do you prefer to choose between? We will follow the final result. Body type A and B versus male and female. The obvious, common sense, reasonable, non-mentally ill option obviously won in a resounding landslide.
Yup.
And the reason
Base-
why journalists and the
base-
people in the
base
industry hate
spoilers.
him
What you say?
is because he told the truth. Actually, he didn't. He just simply showed it. After almost
fantasy
50,000
action RPG
votes.
experience would you prefer between these two? Body type A and B, male and female, or something else? Nearly 50,000 people voted. 88% of them said male and female. CI Games went and made the change just like that. They reverted it. Now, whether you agree.
There it is. Why would you... Here's the question, right? Why would you keep something in the game that 88% of your players don't like? What are you, retarded? What are you, some kind of big dumb idiot? You taking stupid pills?
Agree or disagree with that decision, that's not really the point here. The point is they asked their audience directly, they got an overwhelming response, they acted on it. This is what listening looks like. After making these changes, Merrick would then take things further. He would then take a stance and talk about how studios need to separate their personal politics from commercial products, saying that the key is to separate social and political views of
And you know, by the way, this was a hose mad situation. 2.3 million views with only 2,000 likes? Absolutely hose mad. This is why they hate the game? That's right.
Hose mad.
of studio employees from creative decisions that drive each project. The editorial,
As I said, we are absolutely winning this, like, battle, and I will not stop until every video game journalist is back to DoorDash. And every single one of these sensitivity consultants is back to HR where they belong. Or they're maybe back to working at Starbucks or Walmart or whatever. We already have made a tremendous amount of progress.
So much.
We have been actively destroying this industry to a tremendous degree. And the reason why people are really upset about me is the fact that it's working. The number of video game articles dropped by over 100,000. There's less than 100 games journalists left. They're an endangered species. And we're poaching them.
That is amazing.
We're getting rid of every single one of these fucking
oh my
parasites.
god, this is so amazing.
Fucking parasites
I
that
love
have,
that.
against everybody's will, desire, and intention, attach themselves to something that they have no business being a part of, and tried to force an ideology and a way of thinking into it without asking anyone, without any consensus, and then demonizing anybody who disagrees. That's it. Just one negative when they're gone is no more stupid content for them. They hate me because I'm standing in the way of you. Well, I think that a lot of people get mad at me. You're right. They get mad at me because I am an avatar for the average consumer. I am an avatar for the average gamer. I will tell people what is going through the minds of an average person with no filter. And that's why they really don't like me. And that's also why the videos are really popular.
Very creative and it's correct, I think. I never thought about that
independent
before.
Are you doing the same thing? Yeah, I know. No, listen, I have no problem utilizing bad tactics in order to get a goal that I want. I have no problem with this at all. Of course.
It's like what I say sometimes. If your enemy is always using shit inside games, if your opponent, you're playing like a shooting game, and your opponent is always using hackers to hack tools to like be mortal, like always hit you even without aim, or I don't know, shoot through walls or something like that. If your enemy is using that, do you really expect to win against your enemy not using any of this? Huh? For real? You have to play equal. If your enemy is being fair, you have to be unfair to defend your words of view, defend your perspective. Okay? Or otherwise, it's really difficult. It's very unlikely that you're gonna win. That is actually happening a lot in my country.
If it
I mean,
works, then I'll do
politically
it.
saying.
My goal is to achieve, my mindset is I want to achieve a goal. And so I look at how can I achieve that goal? And then I simply do those actions. That's the end of it. Ends justify the means? Yeah, sure. Would you lie? No, I don't. No, because that's disrespecting the audience. You see, a lot of times people take short-term gains that are actually long-term losses. I think I conduct myself.
Yeah, it's not like you're gonna do everything wrong just because you say that. I mean, use your common sense. Some things you can do and some not. It's not like you're gonna do everything like all wrong just to reach your goal. But you cannot be like 100% inside your little square while your opponent is doing everything wrong. And he's gonna win and you're not because you're inside your little square of the law, of the correct, of the just all the time. How do you expect to win against that, huh? In a world that justice most of the times do not prevails.
In an incredibly ethical, morally
How
correct,
do you expect that?
reasonable, humble, and good way. And the reason why is that I know what you need to do in order to win in a long game against an ideology like this. That's why I act the way that I do. Which is short-term losses? Yeah, I have no problem taking a short-term loss if I feel like it's something that's beneficial in the long term.
Views and serve the best it can the vast majority of players. Of course, the media did not take that well, and headlines popped up everywhere. Lords of the Fallen dev is wrong about politics, and Elden Ring proves it.
Wrong about? What do you mean they're wrong about it? Elden Ring proves it. I don't know. So the logic is that because Elden Ring has body type 1 and 2, that people bought the game because it said like less people would have bought the game if it had male and female? What are you talking about? How can you even think like that?
Ring proves it. Lords of the Fallen publisher embraces the fear of DEI boogeyman. Lords of the Fallen publisher.
That's right. That's right. You can make fun of it and complain and cry and get mad and call me whatever name you want. And the only thing you're going to do is be in my next video. Go ahead. Seems fine to me.
Publisher uses anti-DEI as marketing meme. It's the usual song and
yeah, it worked.
Dance. Any pushback
because nobody likes you. They don't even like themselves.
Against any social, political, or identity-first design is framed as evil, as ignorance, as bigotry, even when the vast majority of players agree with
true.
it. Even when it's just the studio doing what any other...
They are responsible to make the entire game change to fit their desires, and then they don't play the game. And also the average player don't play too because the game is horrible.
In the world
so
would
the game
do and what they're supposed to be doing, which is serve their customers. I reached out to Merrick directly to ask him about this, about the backlash, and about why he felt it was important to open the door to these kind of conversations when the industry has slammed it shut. He told me...
And also, like, this is something that's becoming increasingly more popular. A lot of these game studios are now afraid of the negative reaction that they're getting from players when they introduce something like this into a video game, and then all of the players reject it, and there's like a huge hate campaign against the games. That's the goal. Yeah, that's the goal. That's the whole point. Yeah, duh. So stop doing it.
That's the weapon we have.
That's the goal. Yeah, exactly. And it works.
Just listen to the players.
We want to serve our communities the best we can. Last year, we made it a part of our strategy is being player first. That's not just a slogan, it's the full reality that we're committed to. We don't allow any DEI bullshit to impact our products. We were wrong.
They did not like that at all.
About body types A and B, we fixed that very quickly to male and female when it became clear that that's what the vast majority want. The games industry was hijacked at some point by activists. It ended up with a lot of false assumptions about...
It did. And the reason why it got hijacked by activists is because the gaming industry is full of a bunch of beta male simps that immediately will kowtow and capitulate to anything that a woman tells them. That's the reason why. You might not want to hear it, but I'm going to say it. That's the reason.
That is true. That is true.
Not us, though? No, of course not. We're totally different.
Ballsy.
They're bad and we're good.
So-called modern audience. I follow a very simple old concept. Make products your customers want. What's wrong?
Whoa. You can't just do that. What?
Or controversial with that. Now, regardless of where you fall on these issues, I still think this is the key. The fact that something so basic, make what people want, has become so controversial tells you everything that you need to know about the state of this industry today. The audience feels this overwhelming pressure being forced into almost every media product that they consume. It's not something that they asked for, and when they complain about it,
well,
or they
it's actively something that they don't want.
Try to ask a question, they are treated like social dissidents. These people are paying for these things. It's not that these things can't exist in games. It's just that you can't expect people to want it or like it. And if you want your customers to be happy...
Well, they think that they can bully people into being silent. And the fact is that they've been able to do that. They've been able to do that. And it's been, guys, it's been a long... like, how long have I really been, like, pushing and shitting on this stuff? I'd say, like, probably 3 years, right? Like 3 or 4 years? Like, seriously. Like, really, like, going in on it, etc., right? Since the Trump election? No, longer than that. And, yeah, because that was only, like, what, a few months ago, really? Right after COVID? Yeah, pretty close after that. And think about how much progress we've made already. And also, after I'm fully done, getting rid of this, we will move on to something else. But and this is also, like, we are entering into the circling the drain phase of this behavior, right? What's next? Well, you'll just have to wait and find out. Of this crusade, yeah, I think, you know what? Crusade sounds really good. I like that word. Yes, against this crusade. Let the crusade continue. Exactly. And just like the Crusaders, after we raid one village, we gotta find another fucking village, right? I mean, damn.
You have to give them what they want, not what you want. When I asked Merrick about the...
That is actually such a good way to say it. Give the customers what they want rather than what you want.
Growing divide between players and developers, or just the industry in general, and why so few studios seem willing to even ask any hard questions, he said something that really stuck with me. I think most of them are asking, but too often they ask selectively, avoiding questions they don't want to ask.
Yeah, if you don't talk about it, maybe it'll go away.
That quote cuts to the heart of the issue.
Yep.
Sure, we see plenty of studios pretending to engage, collecting feedback, sending out surveys, running community Q&A, but it's all incredibly curated, selective, sanitized.
Well, it's sanitized, retarded QA that's invented and created by a bunch of worthless HR people or marketing people that contribute nothing to the end product. They add no value to the company, and they'd be better off as janitors because at least then they'd be cleaning up shit rather than making the game shit.
They'll ask what weapon balance feels like or what feature you want in the next patch, but they won't ask why players are feeling alienated, why character designs are getting roasted, or why games like Concord flop while games like Marvel Rivals take off. In a lot of cases, the industry simply isn't asking questions they don't want the answers to. Continuing my conversation with Merrick, I asked about what else they've been doing to improve their games.
Wait, you can do that? What?
Continuing my conversation with Merrick, I asked about what else they've been doing to improve
That's crazy. Wow.
their games and leverage player feedback. And he went on to say that CI Games recently started working with the same playtesting agency that helped FromSoft with Elden Ring. And while they're not designing by committee, they are validating their design through player feedback. Now, that might seem obvious, but that's not how a lot of studios work anymore.
So let me get this straight. they thought, okay, well, the game that we were trying to copy didn't go very well, so why don't we just have the people that did playtesting for the game that we tried to copy playtest our game and then make it good? Huh. That seems like a pretty good idea. That makes sense. Yeah, I could see that. Sounds
Finally,
smart.
I had asked him if this kind of transparency and player-first focus was just a phase or whether it was something they were going to be committed to long-term. He responded saying, "We made a promise to be player-first and we will stay fully committed to that. But the key focus will always remain on making the best games we can." Now, look, I'm not going to say that CI Games or Hexwork
That's
are perfect.
crazy.
I'm not saying that every studio needs to agree with every player. Hell, I'm not even saying that every studio or publisher...
I think that it's very important that developers feel like they can make the games that they choose to make. And I think that's true with everything. That's why, for example, I was pretty positive about South of Midnight. I felt like this was a game that was made for an audience of people. I'm not necessarily a part of it, but this is an audience of people that does exist, and it has a right to exist. But I think the problem really of what happens is that there are people that, it's the parasitic relationship where they insert themselves into a franchise, into a fan base, or into a game or a studio that they're really not a part of, and then they try to actively change it to make it in line with what they believe. That's the big difference. You're a Southerner, though, slightly for you. Yeah, I know. But, like, that's really it. That's insider trading. Gamers want authenticity. They do.
should follow exactly what CI Games and Hexworks are doing. But if we want this industry to get better, to make games better, to rebuild trust that's been bleeding for years now, we need more of this. More honesty, more questions, more humility, more studios that are willing to say, we were wrong, and change course. More studios willing to listen. CI Games and Hexworks aren't just patching a game, they're patching a broken relationship between players, publishers, and studios. And Lords of the Fallen and its 2.0 patch is just the first step down that path. A move towards more transparency and real discussions is the only way that we're going to get better games. It's how this industry heals over time, because it does need to heal. It's been struggling for a while, and I'm sure this is going to lead to some tough conversations, and people's feelings are bound to get hurt. But it's the only way for things to get better. It's the only way for us to get better games and for some of these people to be able to keep their jobs in some cases. I think far too often people want to
And this is also, that's a really good point that he's bringing up, is that these journalists are like the sirens in the Greek myths. They're singing a song of body type 1 and 2, and all of these big studios are crashing their boats on the rocks of DEI. Unironically, that's what's happening. They're being led astray, and they're destroying their studios. In the honesty, exactly. Yeah, I know this is like, it's a little bit, fucking ridiculous to say, but am I really wrong though?
Away from
the DEI sirens, yes.
Topics, and because of that, they then just dismiss whatever the other side has to say. When you got two walls that are screaming at each other and neither one of them want to move, well, nothing can happen. Can't have that. It's great to see how much Lords of the Fallen has improved. I love seeing a studio genuinely listening to their audience, implementing that feedback, iterating on that design, and improving their game. That's exactly what they've done. 2 years this game has been out. Like I said before, in most cases, it would have been long abandoned. They never gave up on it. It has been an absolute joy to play. I recommend it to everybody that's been watching this video. And
I beat the game. Like after I played it on stream, I knew I was going on vacation. I beat the entire game off stream.
While CI Games and Hexworks aren't going to get it right every single time, no studio ever does. At least these guys are trying. And from my perspective, that's more than we get in a lot of cases. So I appreciate that. I want to give a huge thanks to you guys, the viewer, because if it wasn't for you, something like this wouldn't even be possible. This kind of collaboration.
It's a really good point that he brings up here is that, we really have to go and say a lot more often that we really do appreciate you guys that watch, because at the end of the day, he or I are really just primals in Final Fantasy. We're only as strong as the people who believe in us. And I think that there have been a lot of people who have been tremendously supportive and massively beneficial to this movement. And it couldn't have happened without you guys. It really couldn't have. And I think the truth is that, I mean, you know, I'm just a guy on the internet, right? I mean, but you guys choose to watch my videos. You choose to listen to what I'm saying. You agree with it. You support me. And I mean, we're really lucky to have that. And I don't really say that enough. I think a lot of people don't say it enough. But it's really because of you guys that all of this is happening. That's the truth.
Be possible. I want to give a huge thanks to Lords of the Fallen for sponsoring this video. Make sure that you guys go and check out the 2.0 update. It will be live by the time this video has gone up. I've been playing it. I've been really enjoying it. If you have the game, re-download it. Invite one of your friends to come and play it for free. If you don't have the game, they have wildly deep discounts across the board. PlayStation Store,
It's like
Xbox,
$20 or
Epic
something.
Game Store, Steam, all of them. Up to 70% off on almost every single platform. Go check it out. Go give the game a buy. It's definitely worth your money. And yeah, that's all I have. I'm actually going to hop off and play a little bit more. Thank you guys for watching.
Expedition 33 just shattered the narrative. The funny thing about this video is I've already watched it in my own mind. I know everything that this video is going to say. I know every point that he's going to make. I know the entire thing, and I cannot wait to watch it. Like, I've pre-watched it in my dreams.
I have the sensation watching many videos too. I really have. I understand what you say. But I've seen some surprising things here. The multiplayer thing? Oh my god, this is so exciting.
Yeah,
This looks amazing. I can't try that game out now, but I will.
but yeah,
I will for sure.
that's what it's going to be.
Seems to be an
and
awesome
can you
game.
rotate an apple? What do you mean when I rotated it? No, why the fuck would I have an apple?
Even though I
No,
really
I
suck
can rotate a
in
Dr. Pepper can.
in Souls-like games.
Watching. Hope you guys enjoyed
For the
video.
reason that I
If you
said,
did,
I don't
like
have
the video,
time
subscribe to the channel,
to
comment
learn
down
the
below,
Yeah, it's
share the
different.
video with your friends,
I don't have time for
and
that.
What's wrong
come
with you?
follow me on Twitch. Watch
It's
me
nasty,
live.
bro.
Stay cool, stay righteous, stay safe.
I am so fucking glad that this has happened. And I'm also so glad that the 2.0 update has been received so well by players. It is so fucking funny for me to see this because I think there's the video right there. Make sure to give it a like. And I think it's just going to become more and more common now. More and more you're going to see people pushing back against this. And not only are they going to push back against it, but they're going to receive such a tremendous amount of support that they're going to, you know, you're going to see more and more people doing it. And by the game just on principle, yeah, I mean, I played it. I thought it was really good. I mean, I did.
But before we go any further, I want to take this brief moment here to thank you all my patrons that support my work here on YouTube, and especially my Three-Tailed Fox tier members, Heath Rowell and Fenny Sylvy, for the incredible support to my work. You guys are amazing. You can support this channel life and growth with just $5 a month and gain access to many perks. This is less than a burrito. Check out my Patreon, link is in the description below. About what Asmongold said, I forgot to say this before, I hope you guys are still with me, I don't think so. But about what Asmongold says in the end, yes, this is very good to have some people like Merrick Tinsky, but I'm really not expecting to see the... Of course I want this to happen, but I don't see this. I don't see this come back to normal, even so. I really don't see this. They are still they are still doing the same mistakes over and over again with the games, even up until now. I want to see what's gonna happen with GTA 6. I really want. It seems that the game was delayed. The game release has been delayed. But yeah, I have my eyes on it too, because this is one that I want to see what's gonna bring us in the future. Let's use this as a thermometer too. I mean, not only this, but this is... Oh. For reasons that I have explained in other videos, this is one of the ones that we should pay the most attention at this time, I think. To see if it's DAI or not, or how much of it's there, and how the game will be accepted or not by the player base. this is something that really will probably will tell how this entire year gonna end or not. I may be wrong here, I don't know, but it's the impression that I have. It's the impression that I have. Thank you for watching, and I see you guys in the next one. Bye!